All right, good morning, chat. We are live. Let's see what the markets have been doing here. Not much. Not much. The NQ has just been sitting in this range since pretty much yesterday morning. We're still able to find some setups yesterday. I think we ended up taking 3 trade setups yesterday. First one was a loser, and then we had two winners. Nice little winner there on the ES on that signal. I mean, that setup that I left you guys with, that was a rock star. TP1 and TP2. That was a nice trade. And the NQ setup I left you with also hit TP1 and TP2. So hopefully you guys were able to capture some of those setups I left you with yesterday. That was a nice one. All right, so let's see what... all right, the NQ. Let's start off with the... let's jump over to the NQ. NQ had a nice little push here this morning. We've got a setup that we've identified already at the 25.069. I believe yesterday or Monday. It's got to be Monday because that's where that's when price action was at. I'm expecting here a little bit of a reaction right at this shaded box at the 25.137. Just haven't really been able to find a good entry for a setup here. So as of right now on the NQ, I'm looking at the 25.069, targeting the 25.075 and the 25.079 as a secondary target. So now the NQ had a nice little push here. So let's see what it's left behind. That's the area in volume that I'm seeing. And then the only thing left behind was the initial push right off of the open, which again, to me is not the greatest setup. So we'll see a reaction here, but a slight one. It's a little bit more unpredictable here because that was just the initial 830 push. And then above that, I don't see much. I don't see any, excuse me, I don't see anything up here that would help me justify a trade. On the ES, again, same situation with the ES, pretty much just been ranging. Could never get past that, that pretty much the setup from yesterday. This is where I took my trade. I actually took it down here for about close to 5 points. And the market was never able to get past there. If you guys remember on stream, I said that there's just an absolute huge wall of defense there. So a current setup I'm looking at on the ES, we're looking for a long at the 67.36, pretty much targeting about 3.5 points to the upside. So that's the closest setup that we've got. And then now let me just take a look and see. Yeah, nothing. The ES still right here, even though it left a nice 15-minute level. Just nothing super clean. I'd like to see a lot more displacement to the downside before I start taking a look at this level. And this is kind of very similar to the NQ, where this was pretty much just left right by the open. And then above us on the ES, we got nothing. So right now we kind of have to sit on our hands here this morning and see if we get some decent pullbacks here, or at least some movements. I don't really care which way it wants to go. We need something here. Mike, good morning. And another thing with the market, I mean, obviously the market has shown its hand that it just pretty much wants to range right now. And I'd say a pretty tight range. Probably what, 15, maybe 15, 20 points on the ES maximum. So we just got to keep thinking range until proven otherwise. Again, as far as the setup is concerned, I need to see, as a volume-based trader, I need to see at least some type of movements in and out of areas. And we were lucky yesterday because we had some earlier movements from last week that gave us the setups for yesterday. But since yesterday we were ranging all day, I mean, there's nothing in here that that I can see that's entertaining. So let's jump down to the 1 minute. And then we'll see if we get some kind of reaction here. But again, nothing that I like as a setup currently. And then eventually we'll take a look at this here, down here. But I want to see a little bit more structure broken. I mean, obviously we just broke this little piece right here, but I'd like to see, you know, a real big movement to the upside. And then the NQ, I don't think we have anything to the top side. No. I don't think there is anything onto the top side. So we sit and wait. I know I promised you Bookmap today, and I was able to configure a few things on the chart just to make my life a little bit easier. I did condense a monitor over here on my left lower side, one of the 6. So I've got that completely open right now, which is crazy. Just looking at a Windows background. But I did try adding the Bookmap yesterday. It's on my computer. Got the charts working fine. I can do it. But what you're seeing here on screen, this you know, through my streaming software, this, no joke, took me a good 3 weeks to get right. And I added a scene, pretty much, which would be the scene for Bookmap. But I had forgotten that I had duplicated all 3 of my trading screens. So I've got this one, I've got the one for the ES, and then the one for the NQ. And I added Bookmap, looked great. And then it changed the settings for all of the other ones because they were all on duplicate. And I honestly shit my pants because I honestly got a cold sweat. I thought that all that work that I had done was lost just to put Bookmap on. And thank God my streaming software had an undo feature, and I had to undo like 10 different steps to get back to my original layout. So I said I'm not going to mess with that tonight. So I was doing that pretty late last night, and I'll look at that over the weekend, where I know I've got, you know, some time and I'm not freaking out. As of right now on the chat or on the stream, I haven't had anything catastrophic happen yet, so I am due. I am due for something. I know it's going to come, but hopefully I can deal with it quickly. All right, some areas in the market that for looking at the ES has got an easy, kind of an easy area here to map out. The ES right at the 82s again seems to be the area, so that's a lot of stops right here. So this would be a natural area for the market to, because really market's got no, it's got no area right now minusing this right here. You know, the 6781s is the only area right now. Let's jump down to the 1 so I can actually take a look and see what price action's doing here. This is the only area of liquidity right now for the ES, so it's gonna want to tap into it and then display somewhere else, but nothing nothing crazy that I see. And then pretty similar with the NQ. The 25 262s is what it's going to want to tap into right now. Doesn't really have much else. Doesn't have much else that, as of right now, that I see. The 300s. So the 25 300s right up here. There's your next spot. And there you got your reaction right off of the shaded box that I kind of told you we'd have a reaction. But again, and nothing really that I see as a A+ quality setup. So now that it's churning through here, big absorption right now, right here at the 260s. Now an easy place for it to displace that and to move that business that I just conducted would be the 25 300. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a pretty straight push to the 25 300s. Granted, again, we're still thinking range because that's what the market's just been doing. But to the downside, it doesn't really have not much volume sitting below it. Let's see yeah, they're bouncing around between the 35s and the 20s down here. 35s and 20s. So this would be a small area right here that they could want to move some of that. Let's give you guys this right around here. This is an area that they might want to just relocate the business that they did right here, take a small profit here at the pretty much the 25 230s. But where they really need to collect, they need to do where they really need to collect would be at the 25 300. That's the easiest place for them to conduct their business. Open up a pretty good auction there, and this right here would be just a temporary smaller spot to move over some of the business that they just did. B-Bags, yeah, this is the NQ currently that I'm looking at. So I switch over between the NQ and the ES. Morning, by the way, Patty. Good morning. Amal, yeah, I was noticing. I was watching gold this morning. Huge sell-off there. But I know the overall picture on gold still looks kind of rangy too. I mean, it's just bouncing. It's a lot of movement, which is awesome for traders. Sure. Morning, Chump Sauce. So we're currently watching the NQ. Like I mentioned, price action was down here. I gave you guys the shaded box. That's the only area of liquidity that the market really currently has. Right now, they conducted their auction here. They conducted their business. They want to dump it off right in this shaded box. Or actually right around the 400s. I'm sorry, the 240s right now. And then their next big pocket's going to be the 25 300s. So I would not be surprised they just tapped into it. I would not be surprised for a run at the 25 300s, just because it looks kind of light. So this is where the volume, pretty much the bottom of this box at the 25 220, that's where volume really kind of starts to dry out for them. So they might want to sweep this and then take out this bigger pocket at the 25 300s. Let's take a look at the ES. Nothing great on the ES yet. Jump to the NQ. And again, it gets pretty simple. Once keep talking about it, but once you got the tools behind you, kind of seeing what the market what the market wants to do becomes just a little bit easier. It's just so repeatable. It's the same. They go through the exact same steps here all the time. So as I mentioned, they would tap into this liquidity, big volume pocket here. I say big, but it really wasn't that big. They were just finishing off their business from their auction at 8:30. A lot of orders were sitting right here, pretty much displaced it right down here. To me, the next natural thing would be a pretty good shot to the 25-300s. That's where the money's sitting for them. So, or they can come right back down and sweep down into this 25-200, 215 area. But sitting on my hands right now, no setup, no clear setup right now. What we do have marked off already, if we can get a push to the downside, we've got a setup on the NQ to go long at the 25.069. First target would be the 25.075. Second target would be the 25.079. I believe we got another one below that. Yeah, we do. We've got another one at the 24.855s, but again, we need price action to make some moves here. And on the ES, the current setup we got a long at the 67.36, targeting about 3.5 points. And again, not much as far as setups right now, just because of the fact that we've been ranging in the same 10 to 15 point space on the ES for pretty much a day and a half. Which was great yesterday because we took a fantastic trade off of that A+ setup that I had mapped out for you guys. That would have paid off a few times. Thomas, yeah, so I use the composite volume profile. I got it from a vendor. It's Chart Spots, ChartSpots.com. I believe he charges $59 for the indicator. Shit, it could be $79. Let me just let me see here. But it's fantastic. It's not expensive at all, and it just works, which is what which is all like, yeah, it's $59. And that's chartspots.com, and it's called the Composite Volume Profile for NinjaTrader. I've actually talked to the owner a few times, just commending him on his work. I mean, I think the indicators they're clean, they're easy, they just work, and much nicer to use than the default product that that Ninja gives you if you've got that volume, the Volume Plus. So on the ES, again, the 82s, 81 to 82 is where the ES has a good amount of volume that it's going to want to, for sure, tap into at some point. It's the only thing that makes sense. All right, let's look at the NQ. It's making a move here. So like I said, the most natural spot for it to go is going to be the 25-300s. Just finish conducting the business that it had right here. And now what I can start to do, I don't need this anymore, is... And guys, and you guys can... Maybe you're asking the question... Rob, if you know where they're going to go, or you think you know where they're going to go, why don't you just trade it to the upside? Just take a long. That's not my style of trading. That is 100% not what I am looking for. I am looking for predetermined areas where big market volume participants left an area with a hurry and left a volume imbalance at that area that I just want to pick up on. So that is, so as of right now, the reason I've got this shaded, I could take this off. We already took that off. And I'm going to map this out in a second here. I know I had a thought in my head, but I forgot what the heck I was going to say. I think it was good though, but can't remember. So maybe not that good. All right, let's see what kind of clues. Okay, I like this. I like that right there. Doesn't fit super sexy. Oh, it does. I like that one right here. Just don't like the fact that I don't have much protection. Shit balls. So you guys can see on my volume profile here, obviously we'd be coming down. I'd be looking for a long right here at the top of the shaded box. So I could find a decent entry. I can find a decent TP, no problem. My problem is my stop, guys. So my stop realistically would have to be down here on the volume profile to really get some protection. So let's just see what that would look like. Let me just map that out. So my entry would be right at the, let's just call it the 211. I'll load that up as an entry. So my stop, my normal stop on this particular trade would be right there, okay? And that coincides to about 9 points. And it's not just 9 points, but just based on what I see on the lower time frame, that would be my normal spot. But as you guys can see, that doesn't fit very well with the with any type of protection. The protection would come right here, and then we're talking about 15 points of stop. Not the greatest. Not the greatest, but it will give me protection. And then my TPs. First TP would be right there. Get rid of this guy. We don't need him anymore. And then to get really aggressive, this would be the spot for TP2. All right, so that's what this trade setup would look like right here. 25 211s as an entry. 25 218 would be TP1. 25 223 would be your TP2. So only about 7 points. I would much rather prefer it to be around the 10 to 11 points. Because again, I'm looking for my footprint confirmation, and that footprint confirmation needs about 5 points. So I would not mind whatsoever for a price action to come in, cross my entry, maybe 2 or 3 points down from there, and then get a confirmation. To me, that's fantastic. And then probably still target either TP1 or TP2, depending on what price action does coming down to it. But that's an early setup here that I've identified. And then we'll take a look at the ES in a second. Let me just update this here real quick. 25 to 11. 25 to 18. 25 to 23. And 25 197. All right, let's take a look at the ES. NQ right here. Nothing on the ES, so we'll stay on the NQ. We'll stay on the big dog. What time frame do you have on the footprint? Okay, so I'll start with the NQ, which is what we've got on the screen right now. The NQ I've got set to a 20 range, so that's 5 points. On Ninja, the easiest way for the footprint chart is on the range chart, and you could just set your kind of your ticks, so 20 ticks, 5 points. And then you just have to make sure that whatever footprint you're using has got a it's got a delta bar at the bottom. If you guys can see at the bottom here, got a delta bar, and it's a pretty simple confirmation. Nothing crazy. It's you know, if I'm looking for a long, I need to see a green footprint candle with negative delta, and the higher the negative delta, the better the confirmation for me is. On the ES. On the ES, I have it just set to a 4 range, so pretty much my footprint is 1 point. And again, just get your delta bar at the bottom and you're all set. At least for how I get my confirmations. So again, market wants to tap into this 25-300s. Actually, they've got a few pockets now that they're interested in. So the next pocket's going to be at the 85s, 285. 300 is ultimately where they're going to want to get their business completely done. This would be a good move for them right here at the 25-300s. But you're going to see a fight here at the 85s. 85 and 90. Pretty much 85, 90. That's where you'll see a little bit of a reaction to, and then okay, so that was the 80. What's the level for selling today? Well. I think you asked me that the other day. I think I gave you a pretty damn great level. I don't have anything for selling. I don't have anything. We don't got much to the top side, guys. So that's the problem. Yeah, you're gonna naturally see some resistance at the highs, but there's not much. We're gonna get into the unknown, the deep space, pretty soon. I'd say you have better chances with trying to find places to buy. Let's see what happens here with this this NQ. So like I've mentioned many times, the easiest way to trade my strategy would be just setting a resting limit order right at the entry, just targeting TP1, coinciding with my stop loss. It's going to be your easiest. Obviously, if you've got footprint charts and you've already kind of learned what I've been putting out there, you know, your best chance is going to be with footprint confirmation. You might not always get into the trade. I'll tell you that for sure. I mean, you guys have seen many times, majority of my trades come with very little drawdown. You know, I like to see no more than 3 points of drawdown on the NQ and about 6 ticks on the ES, so 1.5. So sometimes, you know, you get the tap right into the entry and you won't get the footprint confirmation until 6 points above, and you're already you got TP1 staring you right at the face already. So that's why I say the easiest way is, you know, I trade with the footprint confirmation because over my statistical back testing and just the absolute shit ton amount of journaling that I do. I've got about a 4 to 4.5% edge increased on my footprint confirmation. So I'll use that 4.5%, even though it might not get me into every single setup. I'll still take that for an 80+ win rate. And then you guys have seen how well the footprint confirmation does with the IB trade at 930 that we take. I haven't actually been able to take one. I mean, yesterday was, what a shit show that was. I mean, we had 2 setups going on at the same time. I was mapping out another setup. I missed the absolute perfect IB low trade on the NQ. Perfect confirmation, 15 points with no sweat whatsoever. And then we missed it on the flip side on the IB high, even though I think we missed it by a tick or 2. Didn't tap in exactly. But that's a very high probability trade that I enjoy, because some days you get that are kind of slow. You know, you get some range days like so far this morning, and it kind of gives you something to look forward to, you know, at 9:30 and after. And it could possibly give you 2 setups, because you've got the IB high and the IB low. And for those of you that don't know what the IB is, that's just the initial balance of the market. So the first hour. So for me, it's from 8:30 a.m. Central Time to 9:30 a.m. Central Time. And the only reason why I enjoy the IB is because those are 2 areas that will typically have a really good amount of volume sitting there. And that's pretty much the only thing I trade is volume. So for me, I have found that with a combination of a footprint confirmation, your win rate's going to be probably 85 plus. Like I mentioned yesterday, I think it was either 11 or 13 trades in a row. I mean, it was insane. And then the footprint confirmation will keep you out of some bad ones, because there's a lot of strategies for the IB. I mean, you could take it blind, you can take it, you know, just short the line, long the line, depending on which way we're going. But that footprint confirmation will save you out of a lot of bad trades. And the nice thing is that we're looking for a pretty big target, so 15 points is pretty decent. So I don't even mind if it takes that 5-point confirmation. I know I got a lot of room typically on the upside to a move out of there, because there's just so much volume stacking up there. $41, let's see. Mike, you talking about gold? I saw a comment up there about the 4100 level. You talking about gold there? I've traded gold for 3 years plus. I still trade it on my mechanical strategies upstairs. But you know, if it's an instrument that everybody's looking at, I'll throw it up on the charts on the weekend. And it's my strategy. The beauty of it is that it'll carry over on any instrument, any indice, the equity markets. It don't matter. It's all the same shit. Okay, so again on the NQ, the hottest area for the market to want to tap into is going to be that 25,300. I thought it probably would have already gotten there. I was kind of thinking with this move right here that that's where they would want to tap into, but they did. Oh yeah, no, they did. They tapped in exactly at the 90 and the 85, exactly where I said that they would have the temporary. So that did come in. Right now, the 80s. They got to get through the 80s, and then this ultimate goal of the 25,300 is just the easiest place for them to finish their auction and displace what they've been picking up right now. To the downside, it doesn't look super heavy, so it's pretty light to the downside actually. I am a scalper. Absolutely, I'm a scalper. The average trade that I take on the NQ is about 10 points, and the average trade on the ES is about 3 points. So I'm not a momentum-based trader. You know, my 100% feeling of the market based on what price action is, or I should say what volume's telling me, is that the market wants to tap into this 25-300. So I've been talking about it so much. And you guys can see, like, everywhere I mark off, the market ends up going to that particular area. But I'm not trading to get up into that area. That to me would be the counter of a scalper. So yes, I am 100% a scalper mentality. I'm not into swing trading. I'm not into momentum plays. That is not my style of trading. I'm looking for areas that the market, the volume needs to get balanced out. And I just want to be a part of the big market volume participants in that area. And just conduct my business where they're conducting their business. That's pretty much it. And where are your gray key zone areas? So you'll see, Patty, that when I start to mark off an area that I'm interested in, right now I've already marked this one off, but if you would have seen on the screen, I had a big gray box here, so that's showing me where the big volume was at. And then I draw a smaller box in where I kind of hone in on where there's an area on the volume profile that interests me. So that's where those shaded box comes in. I just don't keep them on my screen because it just doesn't make these lines very clear anymore. And to be honest, I love a clean chart. Now, I will say on my left-hand side of the monitor, that's all shaded up and exactly what I'm kind of used to. So let's see here if we get this push here on the NQ. All right, strong push. Let's see what happens here. So you're gonna see a big reaction at the 25-220s, so right around our TP2. Again, that's an area that needs to get rebalanced. I'm almost thinking a limit order here might be the best play. Just don't think I'm getting enough time for my footprint confirmation on this one. Let's see what happens here. Strong move to the downside. All right, so that was the volume that they wanted to tap into. I think Now at this point, I can wait for a footprint confirmation. So let's take that off and let's now see if we can get a footprint. Don't want it. I do not want it sitting in my TP1 and TP2 too long. Come on, make the move right here. All right, let's see if we get it. Nothing yet. Beautiful non-trade. Wow. So if you guys heard my commentary, I was talking that I did not want to see it sitting around at that TP1 and TP2 for too long. So I removed my resting limit order here, and then at that point I wanted to see a footprint confirmation. So that was a big sweep down to the 95s, I think it was. So that one kind of saved me out of a bad trade there. So what I would rather prefer to see is I don't mind it playing around at TP2 because that's going to always be an area that the market's going to need to rebalance. There's a reason why that line's there. And so I don't mind it bouncing around TP2. I don't want to see it bouncing a lot at TP1 because then it's just churning all of the volume that I'm looking I'm looking to conduct my business at my entry, and I want to pretty much throw that business right back into an area with very, very little resistance. So the one concern I had on this particular play was my stop loss. So remember here on the volume profile, I would much rather see the volume profile stick outwards instead of sticking inwards. So that's why I kind of had to move my stop down to here. But it was already kind of a crappy stop loss area. So not the best setup to start the day, but all right, I can take this guy off now, and then let's see what with this new movement, let's see what nothing clean yet. You can make a case for a little bit of a setup right here. This is coinciding with the 40s. Nothing yet. ES is just super stagnant. Super stagnant. Only thing we've got on the ES mapped out is a long at the 67.36, targeting the 67.39. And again, you'll start to pick up my style, I think, pretty quick. I mean, for those that have been with me for the last 7 months, they kind of know my style already. But you'll start to pick up the nuances as far as what I'm really looking for an A++ setup. I've got a very particular grading scale, and I grade myself on my drawdown. I mean, that is the number one criteria that I have. Perfect example on that last setup on the NQ. You take when you hit that 3 or 4 points already of drawdown, I've already missed my mark, to be honest with you. The trade might work out, but I've missed my mark. And, sometimes if you're having a hard time seeing what the market's doing at your TPs, just drop to the lower time frame. You could drop down to the 15-second, 10-second, especially on the NQ. You almost need to do it not to find setups, but just to see the candles and what the market's actually trying to do. I've got a much easier time with Bookmap. I can see it visually. I've got about a 40, I don't know what size that is. Probably a 50-inch TV hanging from my ceiling right above my trading setup. And I've got the ES and the NQ, and I can see that visually tick by tick pretty much. So that makes it super easy for me. But on the candlesticks, you can just drop down to the lower time frame. I'm not advocating trading on the 10 or 15. That's not the intention. What I want you guys to look at mainly is what happens around TP1 and TP2. Those are very important levels in my setups. And I set it. I don't like the fact how it's bouncing at the TP1 and the TP2. So I removed my limit order in that scenario and started to rely strictly on a footprint confirmation, which you did not get one there whatsoever. So that's what kind of helped me save me from that early loser. And I think the theme of the stream has been first setup being a loser, and then all the rest being winners. So hopefully we continue that. Hopefully we continue that setup. Hey, Preacher. So my footprint chart that you're seeing, I can move this off. You know what? I'm sorry. I'll just leave it on there. The footprint chart is just on through NinjaTrader. So to get the footprint chart through NinjaTrader, you do need to have either a lifetime license, or you need to add their Market Volume Plus or Volume Plus add-on. And then you also need level 2 data. So you need level 2 data no matter what, even if you've got the lifetime license. So there is a little bit of an extra cost on the footprint chart. I think I mentioned it the first day on stream. If they charged me 10 grand right now, and they said the footprint chart is only available for you if you spend $10,000, I would happily give them that money, because I know that it is going to pay itself off tenfold within a year, easily, maybe 2 years, depending on how much you trade. And it's not 10 grand, so you've got that. I think you're looking at about $30-something a month, if I'm not mistaken, and then another $35 for the level 2. I spend about $130 on Bookmap a month. Plus I have level 2 there. I believe it was Key yesterday that gave me the great idea to talk to Bookmap and see if I could just integrate my level 2 with my level 2 from NinjaTrader that I'm paying for, and integrate it with Bookmap, so I don't have to be paying for level 2 with two different platforms. It seems like a reasonable request, and it would save me a few bucks, but I still did not have the chance to call them yesterday. I actually had a freaking nightmare of a day yesterday. Besides the stream going really well, obviously profitable, made $1,000 yesterday, so I was happy with that. But if you guys remember, I said I had an appointment that was about an hour away, and I knew I had a screw in my rear driver's side tire, because, you know, I got the warning that showed that I had low tire pressure, but it was, you know, the tire pressure was supposed to be set at 41, and it had dropped down to like 36 or 35. So, and I could actually see the screw into the tire. So I just didn't have the time. I think it was on Monday to go. And then yesterday, I went to an appointment, finished up the appointment, got something to eat. And then when I went back into the car, the front driver's side tire was completely on the ground. So I'm like, well, what the hell? Was this done? Was this done on purpose? And it was the same screw in the exact same area but on the front part of the tire. So I still don't have a tire. I was able to had like a little mini air compressor that would fill it. I could only get it to fill to like 20 psi, and then I'd be able to drive for like 15 minutes. It would come back down to 0, refill it. Finally got to a tire shop, and they're like, these are not repairable, nor do we have the tires. So the tires are coming in today. And I asked them, I'm like, you think this is something, you think someone was pissed off on my live stream that they ended up putting screws on my tires? And he's like, well, did you make money or lose money? I said, no, I made money. And he's like, no, I don't think that was it. He just thinks that that I just drove on like a perfect line of where a few screws were on the ground, and I picked them up in the exact same outer spot of the tire, so I have to replace them to the tune of like $850. So I guess the money I made yesterday can go to my tires. I guess the one positive thing that came out of yesterday was when I got home, it was pretty much at 0, and my daughter had a volleyball game, so I was able to take out my nice car, and I really never get to drive that ever, so I got a perfect excuse to do that yesterday. Got to her game super late, which I'm honestly the most upset about that. It wasn't about having to refill the air 3 separate times to get home. I was more pissed off that I missed half her game. I find that time with my kids to be priceless. All right, man, this is not much. All right, we got what? 4 minutes for NQIB to be set. So let's see what we're looking at. It kind of sucks because the IB low is going to probably happen here. I hate that scenario. I like to see a pullback. Ooh, that was a nice little move. What's going on here now? Let's see. All right, 50s have got some area. This is an area I had mapped out earlier. I just can't find a freaking entry. Let me just retake a look at this. Let's see. Actually, why can't I see an entry? What's the issue here? What was the issue here? Why didn't I have this mapped out? Now I'm kind of pissed off. I might not get a chance to get into this one, but come on. Oh, it's probably tapping right into it now, isn't it? Dang it. Let's see what happens here. So it would have tapped into the entry. And you've got your TP. I don't know why I didn't map this out. What the hell was I thinking? I don't think it's tapped into TP2 yet, though. I think that came about probably a point away from TP 1. And that was me doing it very hastily. Very quick. Let's see here. It did tap into, yeah, the 144. It would have been the 144 area. Okay, well. But you guys saw the reaction, right? I mean, that was right at the line. Right at the line. I have no idea why I didn't have that mapped out earlier. And I didn't see if there was any type of footprint confirmation either. That was kind of dumb. That was kind of dumb on my part. I'm human. All right, so our next setup, we've got the 25069s. So market's making a move here. ES is also getting pretty close. Got a setup at the 6736. Market's moving to the downside. The NQ, the 100s. That's where it's coming for. So where was IB set at? So we're right at the IB. See, you always get that reaction. It's the craziest thing. I mean, that's untradeable for me. Definitely untradeable for me. But you always get a reaction there. So your IB was set right there at the 25s. All right, let's get ready here. Let's get ready here. Would like to make some money here this morning. Okay, there's a reaction at the 25 100s. Big absorption right there. Big absorption right there. It's churning. It's churning. So at this point, we only got the IB high as a possible play, but we need that was a really strong move by the NQ and the ES. ES is getting really close too to our setup, so it might be one or the other. It's about 10 points away on the ES, but it's cooking. I mean, it's definitely churning what it wanted right there at the 25 100s. That's for sure. Yeah, let's jump down to the to our trading screen here. So the 25069, so the 070 and the 069s defended decently. So I'm liking where this setup right now currently sits. Whoa. Whoa. What was here? Natural area right now would be the 135s for it to displace what it just picked up. So let's see where IB high is at. You're sitting right here. Whoa. The market's going nutty right now. Let's see. Anything up on news? Let's take a look. I mean, we had oil inventory. Already had that mapped out. Oh, actually, the oil inventory came in lower, almost 1 million barrels lower. All right, so that could have sparked the market a little bit. Yes, dropping. All right, let's see what happens here. Come on, NQ. Oh, market is dancing right now. It finally woke up. That's for sure. Holy smokes. If it keeps up with this, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a footprint confirmation on the NQ here. The market is, if you drop down to the lower time frame, I mean, it's freaking nuts. And it's like a spastic nuts. It's not a directional nuts. This might be a case for just arresting limit order again. Still churning this 25 100s. It was definitely their line in the sand that they kind of established. As you can see, it's just been absolutely nutty right here. What do we see above us? The 170s. You know, let's see if there's anything above us. Oh yeah, we got some mapping out to do here. Let me jump to the 5 minute. Let's condense that just a little bit. So we've got the IB initial balance high set. I got an area right here that we have to map out. Just don't want to miss this trade on the NQ. I like it. I like it. I like it. Let's see what. Give me something. Damn it. Nothing there. Nothing there. I just see this, but it's not enough. It's the area right there. This is the area you're going to see a reaction at. I just don't have a good enough TP. It's way too tight of a TP. There's nothing there. Dang it. It's a great spot, though. A great spot for a reaction. All right, let's keep looking. Let me keep looking. I can also map out the ES, too. See, maybe the ES has got something for us here. I know you're not looking at it right now because I'm just trying to keep an eye on this NQ here. Let's see what's happening at the L69s. I like it. I like it. Not gonna lie, I don't mind right now throwing down a limit order here. I don't mind it at all. And just this in the market right now, I just don't feel like I'm going to get the confirmation for sure. I just don't have enough. I don't got enough room in the trade. Nice, Krypton. As much as I love you guys telling me, I love when I go upstairs during my coffee breaks, because I'll go and peek at the charts up there. All right, well, this might have given me a little time to really think about this one. Let's see how they kind of stacked up here now. The 70s. I like it. I think I'm just gonna put the limit order in here. I just really feel like it's a spot that got really good protection right here. So one worry I have here is missing this trade maybe by a tick, because it might get the reaction right at the 25.070. So, I mean, I guess to be honest with you, what the hell's a tick? So let's just move it up one. All right, so like I say, 95% of my trades come with that footprint confirmation. I just don't feel like I'll get it here. So let's have some okay, we did not tap into TP1 there, but we're now dancing at TP2, so I'm okay with that. Now I'd like to see a move right into my entry right here. Tapped out of it again. I need a smooth move right here. Oh my gosh, again. I don't like it. I'm taking it off. I just gotta keep to my rule. So now I'm gonna be looking at just for a footprint confirmation, which I know it's gonna be difficult to see it here. And I probably shoot myself in the foot for not leaving my limit order there, but it's just not what I like to see. So we missed it there. We missed it by a point. That flushed already TP1. This trade's probably a B- setup at this point. We got the reaction and probably about a point over. We missed it by a point right there. That was the move. There was the move. So this setup, in my opinion, could obviously work because the setup was right. We just missed the mark by a point. And that's going to happen. And it still might work. And I'm going to keep looking at the footprint confirmation here. But you could see how much now it's dancing at that TP1 and TP2. It's rebalanced everything that I'm looking for to displace back up into. So for me, that's a non-trader. But I'll be still curious. And then we can jump over to the ES here in a little bit. I got an area there that I got to map out. I'd just like to see what happens right here. Missed it by exactly a point. So again, the setup was right. All right, there was the tap. Let's see, TP1. Very low probability trade in my opinion, but still would have gotten you at least your TP1 there if you were, there you go, and TP2. So I just didn't have the balls. I did not have the stomach to stay in there, but that setup was perfect. The setup was right. Now let's jump over to the ES. All right, so the ES we've got a set up at the 67.36. Let me just see what's going on there. Okay, the 37s, 35s looking okay. Okay, still like this. I like this setup here. And then I've got an area up here I still got to map out, but let me just see what goes on here. Question to the chat: anybody take that NQ, regardless of my commentary there? Anybody take that TP1 or TP2? And what was the drawdown here? I don't think, well, now we blew through it, so I can't. I have to drop down to like a 10-second. But I want to say the drawdown was maybe a point and a half. Let me get down to the ES here. So I'm going to hopefully give you guys a TP2 on here as well. Right now, TP2 would be sitting at the 67.41. 41. That didn't work. Is that not? Give me in my line. TP. All right. That's what that guy looks like. So we did flirt with TP1. So 37s are strong now. Yeah, we might miss this one. Dang it. 37s is where they're really stacked up really damn high. So at this point, they might tap into the 37. Hopefully just a little small extension into my entry. That's what I'm looking at. But that's going to see, we're going to see a fight right there at the 37. We're going to see probably a real quick snap reaction there. So let me just jump down to the ES. Let's take a look at the footprint here. This is exciting. I love it. I do this all day long. So right now, man, there's so much to do. I got an NQ area I got to map out and a ES area I got to map out. I also don't want to. This looks juicy. That looks real juicy. show you guys here. All right, that's a juicy spot right now on the ES. It's an entry. Dang, kind of a big stop though. Sorry about that one, but that's what I see. Let's fix up this entry. Load entry. Okay. And TPs. Right there. Easy peasy. Easy peasy one right here. Come on. I got it to the 25s. I was just about to say, someone tell me if we're getting close to the setup on the ES. Even though I'm looking at this damn chart, I'm trying to get these TPs in as quickly as I can. There's TP1. TP2's right there. Might have a little resistance on TP2 on this one, but let's put a 75. All right, we got the ES surrounded now. We've got a short at the 67.61 and a quarter, targeting 67.57. That's pretty big, right? That's what, about 4 points. Nice little setup right there. And let me just make sure that TP, yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. I like it. TP2 67.55. I'm sorry for the stop. The stop, I know, is kind of ridiculous. My normal stop, I guess, would be right there. Screw it, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. I don't see myself going in with a 7-point stop, but it might be what it needs. I'm hoping it doesn't need it. I'm hoping the reaction happens right at my line, so I don't even need to rely on it. But that's the setup right now. Crichton, no. So right now I've got all my mechanical strategies running through the automated strategy on NinjaTrader, so I don't have that capability of moving it to 75%, moving it up to 75% stop. I used to do that all the time when I used to trade the strategies mechanical, but I've just gone strictly automated, and I don't have that capability of doing that. Obviously, if you're in front of the chart, you could probably do that, but those are pretty much running on autopilot. All right, man, I gotta go to the bathroom really fast. We're right in price action here in the middle, so don't think that we'll get a 11-point move that quickly here, but you never know. Be right back. All right, that was as fast as I can possibly use the washroom. Pretty soon I'm going to have to go up for my second cup of coffee, but I can wait right now. Let me just take a look real quick at the NQ. We've got some good movement right now. So I can delete these guys off the NQ. That ended up being a beautiful setup that I did not take, but it just adds to the confidence of knowing where the market's going to move. All right, so let's switch over to the NQ. Let me show you guys this. This little area right here. And look at that one again. I can get rid of this 200. Or the 100, I should say. Dang it. You dummy. I'm pretty sure the entry is going to be right around here, but let's take a look. Oh. Ooh. We got multiples. Dang. We got multiples. So we got one there. Kind of crappy that I got another one so damn close right there. Don't like that necessarily because now we've got two areas very close, and even though I could get the reaction that I'm looking for at the first area. Let's see. That's my entry. At the 50. Load that up. Entry. Entry at the 25.095.50. 25.095.50. TP1 right there. 25. It's killing me. TP. Stop loss. All right, ES is getting close. And TP2 right here will be right there. Don't go without me. Yes. Give me 1 second. 1 second, buddy. All right. So we got that identified. That's going to look something like this. Entry at the 25.095.50 for a long on the NQ. Targeting 25.102 first target. Second target would be at the 104s. Where'd the stop go? What the hell happened to my stop? It was at the 25. No, I did it as a TP. I'm an idiot. That's the right one. All right, I can delete this guy. Still got to map out this little area right here. We might have some time to do that. Let's jump over to the ES. All right. So again, we're trying to take an entry here at the 67.61. I like it. I like the 60s are looking 62. I like this trade. I like this setup a lot right here. So now it's going to be see if we just get a decent footprint confirmation here, and this should be a nice one right here. We might see the movement at the 60. 151 contracts sitting right there. So I gotta be eyeing this one pretty good. So I got my line there. Okay, let's see. A lot of positive delta. That's a good footprint confirmation for me. Let's go. And I can target. I keep doing that. All right, let's see what happens here. It stops pretty high. Shit. I got him pretty damn early, but... So I'm okay with it hitting up to the 62, 63s. But right now, actually could rebalance all the way down to the 51s. I should take a 51s all the way down here. Jeez. All right, that was pretty easy. That was pretty easy. Now the 51s is it's a strong area that they got to rebalance. So let me just mark that up here. That could have been a much bigger trade, but I'm on the board. $600. All right, so my initial, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let me delete this white guy, this white line. White guy. Delete myself. Let's see what happens here at this entry. So you could tell, I mean, look at this delta. 294. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Like I said, the 62s was another area. That 60, 61, 62 was really strong. Not seeing the delta right now. Let's see, let's see. You do have a really aggressive target. I know at the 67.51, but that's, guys, what I see. Actually, I'm sorry. It would be at the 51.75. That's the target. That would be a big target, I know, but that is what it's going to want. It needs this. It needs that. Did we get the confirmation? No. No footprint confirmation yet there. What's going on in the fight? 65s. 65s is another really big... You've got a big level of defense behind you at the 65s. It's going to be... Still no confirmation, but this is what they want to go for, is the 67.51s. They might want to tap into the 65s before displacing down to the 51s. I know that's a big move, guys. It's on the ES. It's a huge move, but that's exactly what I see. You can see where my entry, where I targeted, was just a very, very clean area for them to displace. But this is their eye on the prize right now, is a 67.51. Now the 65s is the absolute line in the sand. I could see them tapping into the 65s and then making a move for TP2 and the 67.51. Let's just take a look. Callie, I'm trading the ES and the NQ. So currently with the trade we just took was on the ES. That's the setup that I had mapped out. So again, anybody with a resting limit order at the 67.61, you know, depending, yeah, obviously you didn't get in yet because of where I got in. I gave you some commentary. The 60s were really strong. I just wanted that really quick push, which I got. But right now, The 65s is your last layer of defense, but I wouldn't get too nervous. I would say let it tap into the 65s. It might need to do that at this point to get down to TP2. Anything past the 65s, it's an ugly proposition. Let's see. Yeah, so 65, 66, just I would say there's about 400 contracts right there. Easy spot for them to conduct their business. And then they have to, I don't want to say they have to, but the easiest target is at 67, 55, and then the 51 for them to let go of the business that they just took. For those of you that had just a resting limit order at the 61s, I know you guys are just hoping for a push right now to TP1 or TP2. Still, I would grade this trade pretty damn high. I got the flush just because I went off of this initial wall that I knew we were going to face right at that 60. So I don't think I took any drawdown on that trade. And I targeted TP1, which was a very simple one to target, and you could see it hit it right to the tick. So let's see what they want to do here. Morgan, I don't look at any fair value gaps. I'm sorry, that's not the style of trading that I do. The imbalances that the volume balancing out, you know, most likely equates to fair value gaps, but that's not what I'm looking at. But I will look at your level that you mentioned. I just want to really pay really close attention here. So your best case scenario for those that are in the trade right now is, to be honest with you, your best trade at this point. I know it would be fantastic for it just to fly down to TP1 or TP2. Tapping into the 65 right here, 66 is not the worst case scenario, especially if you get a nice footprint confirmation right here. You got then a lot of wind behind your backs to even take more than TP2 if you really want to get crazy. Let's see here. I'd like to see at least the push to TP1. That's not that interesting for them. TP2 is going to be the real interesting spot for them. There you go, TP1 for those with a resting limit. TP2 is, come on, you got to tap into that. Let's see. They're going to come after the 41s. I'm sorry, the 51s that I mapped out right there, guys. This 51, I can't say it enough. That's what they want. I thought they really wanted to push into the 65s to get down to the 51s. But it looks like they might have had enough to... So now you've got a very strong possibility of coming right back into the 65s. For those of you holding out for TP2, you might now go into some sweat just because they're going to want to go into that 65, 66 area to then rebalance right back down to the 51s. Anybody make some money, or at least on TP1? Anybody on stream? Just give me a reply. Give me a like on the stream, too. Come on. This is as exciting and as fun as I could possibly have in my morning. I'm absolutely loving this. If you guys enjoy the stream, hit me a like. I think I saw a comment. Thomas, yes, I am going. I'm live every morning. 8:30. So again, I'll say it one more time. For those of you holding out to TP2 from the limit order resting at the 67.61, you know, since we didn't tap in right here into this area, let's see. Well, maybe they want to take it right now. Maybe they had enough business right here. I really think that they wanted the 65, 66 before coming down to the 51s, but I think that was pretty close to your TP2. Travis, great job. Come on. So I'm going to move this line. You know what? Let me take a screenshot of it. I'll save myself some work from later on. Oh, and I forgot to record again. God, I keep forgetting that. Sorry. All right. So now that I've got that, now that we've got that entry, there you go. There was TP2. Nice little sweep there. Now, this could be a very low budget. This could be a budget play. Crazy one at that, but unless they take it out now, they might take it out now. I mean, a budget play would be, shit, what is that, 2 points of risk? Right back down to the 51s. But this is what they wanted. They must have, I got to look at the footprint again. I know I saw a few 300 contracts floating on the footprint, so maybe it was enough business for them to want this 51. Because that's where they're going to do the business at. That's where the volume is sitting at. That's where they can make their money. Everybody's got to make money. Unfortunately, I guess the other side has to lose some money, but Clint Eastwood got out early. Did you get out at least for some profit? I got TP1, beautiful. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. All right, let's see if the thesis is right here. There it is. That's it. That's exactly what they needed to do. Exactly what they needed to do. Telling you guys. Telling you right there. That's exactly what they needed to do. That would have been a 14-point trade. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I got. I got in a little bit early just based on the commentary I gave you right before getting into it. But volume does not lie, people. This is no lagging indicators. This is no bullshit. The volume, the market does the exact same thing every day, all the time. It finds areas that they have interested buyers and sellers. They conduct business there. They have to move that business somewhere. So you just got to find the next available pocket that they have the liquidity to exchange to close out that auction. And once you get familiar with that, you'll start picking up on the nuances here that I put out. Now at this point, the 65, this trade setup, can it work? Are you gonna get a reaction at the 65s? Yeah, but the whole thing is played out. Okay, so the entire setup has played out to the T. So I could delete all of this. Good job, Mike. Oh, good job. Good job. Oh, man, that was exciting. That was exciting. Freaking neck is killing me, though. All right, I'm gonna go get some coffee, but let me just take a really quick look at the NQ. What do we got brewing here? What do we have brewing here? Let's drop down to the 1 minute. Okay, I'll leave this one up right here on the screen. I got to get some coffee. I'm starting to get a headache, and my neck is killing me. I might need some ibuprofen. Give me 1 sec, guys. Be right back. All right, let's see what's happening here. Let's break this up here a little bit. Shit, I never mapped out this area here too. This kind of worries me a little. I don't like two setups being so damn close to each other because it's kind of playing into very similar. Actually, let's see what's going on here. 90s are defended strong. Oh, so close to my. I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like this setup, guys. I'll tell you why. Because the 90s right now is where that's the area that they want. They want this 90s. They want the 90s right here. They want the 90s. There you go. Hopefully saved you guys out of a bad one there. Sorry, just got down from my coffee. I wish I would have seen that even earlier because that 90s was very clear. Very clear. All right, now, shit, I don't even know if I'm gonna have time for the second one here. Crappers. This is where they probably want. This is probably where they want. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. Don't have the time. The 92s would be what they need to rebalance right there. Let's see. Let's see. Or is this just a dump session? Wow. Okay. Okay. That saved me right there. Wow. Huge push, man. Huge push. 15-minute. Let me jump down to 15-minute just because I need to see what. Okay. That's an area that they were. It just looked really drastic on the 1 minute. Oh, I was happy that I didn't even have time to map this one out. To be honest with you, I couldn't even have a chance to look to see what had happened previously. But right now, the 92s they left wanting to rebalance. So right here. Right here, let's put the line. So right there, they got to rebalance at some point. Oh shit, the ES. Damn it. ES just tapped in. Let's see if there's a confirmation. Shit. All right, no footprint. Oh, there was one. No, there wasn't. No footprint confirmation yet. Let's see. Oh, there was a nice confirmation right there, people. Let me just see. That was a decent confirmation right there. All right, I'm in. Oh, it's a really big down. It's really strong to the downside, though. Really strong. Let's see. I'm happy closing there. I don't like that. Should have taken my 2 points. Should have taken my 2 points. Just did not like that. How strong that was down to the... Let me just see. Big absorption. Big fight there. Big fight right at the entry where I thought... Dang, I wish I was looking at that chart. Let's see. Fuck, did I end up losing money too? I did. Lost $100. Crappers, man. I saw 2 points of profit. Right there. Shit. Oh, it was a nice confirmation. I blame the coffee on that one, but it tastes so damn good that it doesn't bother me too bad. Let's see what's going on the accounts. Okay, cash accounts pretty much stayed. I was break even on the cash. So I'm up 87 on 2 cash accounts, and then 75 on all the other fundeds, which is equating to that total that you see down there. Dang, what a nice little setup there. Dang. Damn, I had about 700 in profit right there that I Mike TP1, very nice. Very nice. I just didn't, I was not ready there. I was looking at the NQ, I was ready at the entry. You got a great confirmation, people. This, let's see where it was at. Oh, let's see where it was at. Nope, it was before that. This is it right here. I'll draw you guys an arrow. Arrow line. Jeez, that was hard enough to find. Green footprint. Negative 120 delta. There you go. Can't get better than that. You can't get better than that. I mean, and you could tell. I mean, this was a really strong downward push. So, I mean, the 67.36 buoyed the shit out of the market there. I also feel like my order to close for me, it feels like it's taking a little bit more time than it does upstairs. And I know that sounds really ridiculously stupid, but I feel like it does. Because man, I was in 2 points of profit there. That would have been an extra $700 that added to the 6 something that I was already up. That would have been a freaking awesome morning. I'm still happy. Still happy. Cash accounts are all up. I am happy as a clam. Morgan, you're welcome. It's been an interesting one here today. A lot of action. A lot of action. All right, so let's see if there's anything else that I can leave you with off. So the next setup on the ES, this looks great. This looks oh, this is the one. This is like a B+ setup right now. We got a lot of liquidity sitting right here, a lot of volume. My concern is if we don't get the exact reaction, plus or minus, I should say minus maybe 6 ticks of drawdown, you have a very strong likelihood of this wanting to tap into this volume pocket right here. But I'll probably rate this a B+. 67.16, targeting the 67.18, and then right above it the 67.19 on the ES. Let me take a screenshot of this guy. All right, so that's in the books. I could delete this one off my charts. And I think that's it. To the upside, we got nothing. All right, so that's the only setup we got. I know we got another one down here. Well, I guess I'll leave this one with you guys too. 66.71, targeting the 73, and then targeting the 75 with a stop at the 65s. So those are the 2 setups on the ES. The NQ, I can delete this so I don't. I guess you still got IB high in play. Below us. Next available setup on the NQ would be sitting at the 24,855, targeting the 24,861, and then targeting the 24,867 with a stop sitting at 846. So that's what I see on the NQ. So I got 2 setups on the ES, 1 setup on the NQ. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Hit the like on the stream, please. If you guys are looking to get funded, you want to trade along with me, use code TraderRob on Funding Ticks. I currently am using 3 funded accounts through Funding Ticks, one with Tradeify, one with Take Profit Trader, and I've got one with, I already said it. I think I said 5 funded accounts, 2 cash accounts. Again, the most important thing is if you guys can hit the like button on there. I got to go replace my 2 tires and still somehow get to an appointment that I got to go run to, but might have to be borrowing my my wife's car as it's pretty crappy outside. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I had a shit ton of fun. I know that last ES trade, I wish I could have made that extra $700. Or I should say, I wish I could have stayed in that trade a little longer. Would have got both of my TPs on that one, but there's setups every day, guys. And as long as you're churning out profits each day, the month will look really, really sweet. Take care, everyone.